everyone. So I said I was going to do story time today, and here I am. I'm gonna try to wait and see if people will log on here. If not, as usual, you guys can watch it later. Thank you guys for watching the last one and commenting. I really appreciate it. I got a lot of positive feedback, which is good. I might not get a lot of positive feedback for this one, but we'll see. Excuse me, it's a little chilly in here. All right, here we go. So this story time is more about like colorism. And the reason I chose that particular topic is because there's a YouTuber. I'm starting a YouTube channel, by the way. And there's a YouTuber that I watch. And she's a woman. She's black. And she's dark-skinned. And I really don't think that she like light-skinned women, like, that are black. And she makes comments, like, all the time. And I started thinking about it, like, there's a lot of people out here that just don't like me because of what I look like. And we all get that as black folks, but it's different when you black and get it from other black folks too. So this story is about that. So hi everybody. Hey Brittany, Jay Bart Carpenter, Kel. Hey y'all. So to start the story off, when I was very young, I was how can you say, I was kind of homeless as a teenager, as a young adult. I went through a lot. I was on the streets. Some of my story times will be about that. But this particular one is when I kind of started digging myself out of the tunnel that I was in, and I went to Job Corps. For those of you that don't know what Job Corps is, which you must have been living under a rock if you don't, but it's just basically a place where young adults can go and kind of get a trade or a skill. They're supposed to be helping you get ready for the workforce. So, oh, hi. I know you ain't calling me gorgeous, girl. You are just absolutely gorgeous yourself. Thank you very much, though. So Job Corps, I decided that it was time that I needed to go and do that. So I signed up, everything was fine. I was probably there almost a year. The first maybe 6 or 7 months, it was wonderful. I had a great time. I learned a lot. I had my first, that I can remember as an adult, my first, what you call it, when they stick you in the arm, like flu shots and all that stuff. Like I finally felt like I was growing up as a young adult. So everything was cool. I had a little roommate. I liked my little classes that they gave me and everything. I forget what trade I picked, but it was something I was really into. So I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to do this when I graduate, blah, blah, blah. So the roommate that I had after about 6 months, 7 months, she graduated. She moved out. And this was in, not Las Vegas, Reno, Nevada. So I'm at Job Corps in Reno, and my roommate graduated. Maybe about a week or two, I didn't have anybody. It was just me. And then finally, they brought another girl. And this girl, very pretty girl. She was thin. She had very shapely. She was black. And I thought we were going to get along very well. But what I didn't realize is that she was on some kind of colorism stuff. I guess she thought because I was a light-skinned black person that she could take advantage of me. So I wasn't really too thrilled about that. And it started off very subtle. So she would just walk over and grab something of mine and start using it. And I'd just be like, okay, all right, we can do that. And see, I'm not confrontational now, but back then I was. But on the flip side, I didn't want to get put out, and there was rules there. No fighting, none of that. So I did my absolute darndest to be nice and just to let it go, let it slide. And every time I turned around, she was doing something. Like she would walk up and take something out my hand and be like, thank you. I'm like, okay, all right, we can do this. We can do this. I can do it. I can do it. I had several court ordered anger management classes by that time, so I relied on that. I was like, okay, woosah, even though that's not what it was back then. It was take deep breaths and breathe and all that stuff. So I did that. Last straw. We lasted probably about a month and a half, maybe. I would leave the room. There was like a little gym inside the building on the same floor. And all it was like a small room with a treadmill and like a little bike and just a little area, a small area we could lift weights or work out. So I was like, well, I'm going to use that. So every day I would go there. When she would come in, I would leave and go into that gym. I'm like, well, I can get in shape. I've always been a hefty girl anyway. So, I was like, this is my opportunity to not only learn, but I can get in shape on top of that. And I'd get on that thing and I'd just be working out. I'm going to be unstoppable. I was telling myself all kind of stuff. So the last straw was the very last day that I was there. I was in the gym and I could tell the people were coming and getting out of class. There was a lot of people that would come into our building that lived in the building with us. And that room just happened to be facing it was right upstairs and facing the front door. So I could look out the window walking on a treadmill and see people coming up the way to come to the door. So I look out the window, I'm just watching, and I say, there she go. And I was like, is that her? So I got off the treadmill and walked over to the window, put my hands in the windowsill, and I got stung, I kid you not, by a wasp. It it tapped my finger, and I'm like, oh man, oh. So I'm grabbing my finger, and I'm looking out the window like, is that her? Is that her? This heifer had on my clothes. And when I tell you she had on my clothes, she had on all of my clothes. Not just pants and socks. It was shoes, socks, pants, shirt. I wouldn't be surprised if she had my bra and underwear on. Like this lady actually put on, that young lady, because we were both, in our teens, 18, 19, 17, all that. We were young. But she had on all my clothes. And I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. I just snapped. I had to take a deep breath. So I took off I had a towel around my neck. I took my towel off and threw it down, and I ran downstairs, and I decided that I was going to take all of my clothes off of her in front of the building. And I attempted to do so. Right there in front of the building. The staff members came and broke it up, and it was like 3 men and 1 woman, and they were trying to break us up, and it was, kids, they all crowded around, and everybody's doing all of that. And they're trying to break me off of her, and I'm trying to take my clothes with me as they're trying to pull me off of the girl, right? So one of the ladies grabbed my hand, because I had her shirt, my shirt in my hand, and I wasn't letting go. They couldn't get us apart. And I bit the lady. I shouldn't have did that. That was dangerous, first of all, because I could have broke blood or anything and got, sick or some kind of disease. But I was just seeing red. So I bit the lady, and the man came in and did my hand like that, and it came loose. And they took me down to the office, to the little holding cell that they kept in the office. Who knew they had an actual jail cell at Job Corps in Reno, Nevada. So they called the police, and the lady didn't press charges, thank goodness, but the state picked it up. So I ended up going to jail as a very young lady in Reno, Nevada, out of Job Corps. So that's my story for story time. I don't like to embellish that one a lot. I was I'm still to this day pretty hurt by that one little incident, not thinking and just I could have gone a different way. I could have went and said, hey, look, this lady is stealing from me or, taking my clothes or instead of doing that, my thing was fight. And that's all I knew really at that time. And that charge that it got dropped down to like a little misdemeanor or whatever, but it still followed me almost my entire life. Well, I applied for a job at DirecTV in Huntsville. And I almost didn't get the position because of that. I forgot about it because it had been years. And so when they asked me, I think it said in the last 10 years, and I said no, but they still looked anyway and they found it. So the guy called me and he was like, oh, you lied on your application. I was like, no, I didn't, which I hadn't because it was more than 10 years ago. But I guess he was just trying to intimidate me to see if I would tell the truth maybe or something. I don't know. But yeah. Fighting is not the answer, especially now that you've grown. It really ain't the answer, so please don't. That's all I really have for this story time. Just straight and to the point. What would you do? I see there's a few of y'all in here watching, so leave your comments. What would you do if you had a situation like that? Because that was really tough. It tried my patience. I was trying to turn over a new leaf at that point. And it didn't happen. It did not happen at all. I mean, it did for a little bit because I held back. So, I guess it worked for a little while. It was my journey unto where I am now. So now, something like that happens. I have other ways of dealing with it. I'm trying not to laugh because I wouldn't fight though. I don't think I would unless, somebody put their hands on me then, but for the most part at this point, I'm old. I got to wear glasses so I can see. I ain't trying to be knocked down, drag out with nobody. So you deal with it other ways. So nobody's saying anything, so I'm going to go ahead and ring off of here from this live. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Tell me what you thought about, this, the live. Maybe in the comments. Share. I have no problem with you sharing. Please go to my YouTube, Myka, Myka, aka Butta, Butta. And people have been asking me where that name came from. So when I was at A&M and when I was at DirecTV in Huntsville, I kind of started becoming known as the butter lady because I did, shea butters and all that stuff. And the people on my team would go, oh, there go the butter lady. Just get it from her. You put that stuff on and you'll never get ashy ever again in life. And so that's where that came from. And it kind of stuck a little bit. So that's all. Thank you guys for watching. I'll go ahead and post this now so you can go back in and watch it if you're just now tuning in. So don't forget, go to my YouTube, Myka, aka Butta, and all my story times and lives and stuff will be there. This is only the second live story time that I've done, but there are plenty more to come. So check me out.